Hey everyone, I'm taking a look at some ideas about reporting in Nearpod. And I want to show some alternative platforms here and take some inspiration. First off, let's take a look at EdPuzzle. So if we log in as a teacher here, you can see an overview in your gradebook of a roster. So Nearpod does not have rosters. I would love to see rosters, even in the free version. Well, perhaps not that, but right here we can see an overview of the individual student's answers as the teacher. And not only that, the student can actually log in, click on their completed work, and they can see not just their overall score, but they can go back and think about what they did well and, where they need to improve. So this is great for feedback, feed forward. Let's take a look at some other options here. This is Nearpod that we're talking about. Let's take a look at Peardeck for a moment. I really like in Peardeck a couple things here. I really like how, as a teacher, afterwards we can reflect and review very easily, looking at each student's response, and it's scrollable like this. It's really easy to read. I noticed that a lot of the feedback in Nearpod suggestions was about making sure images were big enough for drawings, so that we could see that easily. I feel like this is really calming and not claustrophobic for me. Furthermore, teachers, not just in the reflect and review, but also in the presenter view, can actually see an overview of where students drew on pictures at the same time. You can see an overview of everyone's answers. I feel like it's less crowded, perhaps, than other experiences in Nearpod. So I really like that a lot. Furthermore, transition words. Let's go over to a student and take a look at right here. This is what they see when they are sent what's called. Now, I actually don't like in Pear Deck how, you know, if you have this reflect and review, so for student demo 3, I can copy the student link and I can send this over to her and she can open this up, right? So if she opens this up, she can have a link to go back and take a look. I feel like this isn't as good as in EdPuzzle, where they have a roster they can log in and take a look at. But this allows the student to go question by question to see how they answered, which is good. But again, not as good as EdPuzzle. Now, Nearpod is much more complex than EdPuzzle, but perhaps we can consider a user interface for reporting that not only is less crowded. Well, first of all, let's go take a look at Nearpod's reporting, right? So right here, I've got a real assignment that I did last year. And now, again, we've got a really good overview here, and we have some student breakdowns for scores. If we take a look at the interactive video, I can see individual questions, but it just feels very tight a little bit. It's like, I wish this was more like full screen, and it'd be great if I could see this, as a breakdown per student, so I could focus in on what that kid is thinking. Let's take a look at another one here. So that last one that we looked at, that was just a video, interactive video, right, where they're answering questions. This one has an overview for student participation quiz. I only had one student demonstrating this right here. Okay, but so I like this breakdown here. But again, this starts to feel a little bit tight once we get to this type of overview. So I think it'd be great if it was more like what we see in Pear Deck in terms of scrolling through per student. I think that's a nice option, as well as right here they have the overview where they can see either an overlay version of it or a grid layout. I prefer this one where it's available. This one is a grid layout versus list layout. I think this is really calming for a teacher to look through during reporting. So I guess I'll cut short the video here. Just want to say bravo to Nearpod for integrating so many incredible different types of assessment tools. Even this collaborative board right here, it's kind of like Padlet, right? We can actually see the author, so we know who's participating. I think that's great. What we just need is maybe a more calm grade book sort of overview and being able to dive a little deeper into a roster, similar to what we see in EdPuzzle with the teacher view here of the grade book. So thanks for listening, and keep the awesome features coming. Thanks. Take care.